Kentucky Senator Rand Paul is bashing President Biden's new travel ban aimed at curbing the spread of the new COVID-19 Omicron variant. Senator Paul said in an interview on Sunday that, quote, the travel bans aren't going to work. The new variant is in over half of the states in our country. It's in 40 different countries. There's no travel ban that's going to stop this. A new Hill HarrisX survey asked what voters think about Biden's new travel ban, which bars travelers from 8 Southern African countries from entering the U.S. The poll found 71% of voters overall support the ban. That includes 78% of Republicans, 88% of Democrats, and 82% of independents. Robbie, this is just extraordinarily depressing.
Yes, because the travel restrictions are really stupid. Rand Paul's absolutely right.
We have like 4 identified cases in D.C., and we don't have any capacity to even identify cases. So if we've found 4, then who knows how many there are.
At no point, when these new restrictions were proposed and implemented, at no point did anyone in the government, did any expert we talked to, Dr. Fauci himself, they all said, yes, we're going to have cases of Omicron here. So there was never no one actually thought this was going to stop Omicron. No. So I don't get it.
I think that there is some value in attempting to stop the new variant from coming, into the United States. Although we're finding out that this new variant seems to be very, very mild. No one has died from Omicron yet, thank God. At this point. So, it's looking like it's not necessarily a bad one to be circulating around. But, in the beginning, you don't know. And so I do think that there's some value in saying, OK, we want to prevent this from coming into the country. My beef with the travel bans is that when it's only on these African nations, when Omicron's already all around the world, it seems that you'd want to put the travel ban on everybody in the world. You'd want to lock down the borders in the same way that Australia or New Zealand have done, if you're going to go in that direction at all. It's very difficult to do for this country because we have so many dual citizens. They're allowed in the country. People can travel out. They can come back home. So it's difficult in a nation like ours. But, I kind of understand. But again, we're finding out now more data with Omicron.
That shows exactly how stupid it is because, they still let and they should, I agree, because I don't want to do any of this anyway. But if you're going to, what's the point of your ban? If, you can't travel from this country, well, if you're a citizen, you can travel. It's not like the coronavirus doesn't care if you're a citizen or not. So it's just a stupid distinction. But anyway, here's White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki pushing back on claims that Biden's travel ban is racist.
Simon, I would convey to you that is absolutely not the intention. That is not our policy. This was a recommendation of the health and medical experts because there were a large number of cases in South Africa, and they made a decision early on out of an abundance of caution and to protect the American people to slow the spread of the variant. This is not meant to be permanent. It's not meant to be a punishment.
Okay, so go ahead.
Well, I know that where else have we had travel bans against during this whole pandemic?
We had Europe. We had
China. Did we actually ban?
It was pretty total.
Europe only got lifted a couple weeks ago.
But it was an actual travel ban that we banned travel from those countries to the United States.
Unless you're a U.S. citizen, it had all those similar exceptions. But the issue,
lots of people couldn't go to weddings.
The issue is, so I don't think this ban is it's clearly not. I don't think it's racist. But if Trump had done it, there would be story after story after story about the racist rot at the center of our government and how we are punishing African people. It would be the media's objection to this would be exclusively filtered through a framework, a narrative that about racism. That would be the only way they could discuss this story. That they have no interest in doing that, or they have less interested in doing that with Biden as president.
Right, just like they did with China. It was like, oh, it's racist. You're banning China.
Yeah.
Right, and if South Africa didn't have one of the most sophisticated virological surveillance systems in place, they would not be getting punished in this way. They would not have identified. We're not very good at doing surveillance of different variants here in the United States. Yeah. It's pitiful the way that we have to rely on Israel to share data with us. What is going on?
It's actually similar to the Spanish flu is called the Spanish flu.
Yes, that's
because not because it originated in Spain. We actually don't know for sure where it did originate. There are some theories actually that it originated in the U.S.
North Carolina Army bases.
We don't know for sure. But it's called the Spanish flu because in Spain, this was during World War I, and there was all sorts of suppression of news and information going on in both Germany
France,
and both sides of the war. But Spain was neutral, so they could actually report honestly on this disease. So so it becomes known as the Spanish flu, even though it has no reason to think it originated in Spain or it was certainly not unique to Spain. It was happening everywhere. They didn't get the earliest cases. It was going on everywhere. They just could talk about it openly, and no one else could.
Nice to know we're just as dumb as we are.
Haven't learned much 100 years later. Yeah.
Yeah, we never, ever learn. Yeah.
Well, but we'll keep trying. We'll have more Rising right after this.